Hello everybody all over the world. Hello, what's up? I got a new hat. Swoosh. Swoosh. Picked it up when I was on vacation, and the reason I'm wearing glasses inside is because I'm a douchebag, and it has nothing to do with me getting a nasty eyelid infection. Because it's just me being a douchebag, totally not that. So, there was no show last week because I was on vacation. That's where I picked up this nice little hat that I bought. I was on the countryside, in the fjords, in between the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, where nobody lives except old people, living all that old, pensions and welfare and all that stuff. So today's episode is a revisit of what we did not too long ago. It's actually the loose cannon. And at first, I fucking hated this piece of shit, but it certainly has its place. And it takes a long time to use. Now, if you look over at the Wikipedia page, it says the loose cannon has 50% faster projectile speed. That is not the case. The projectile is just as fast, per this video, as a regular grenade launcher. So, we will look into the loose cannon today. It has a couple of nice features. You shoot cannonballs that push people. You do less damage. You do like 60-something instead of 100. Because I drink energy drinks before the show. I thought today is a good idea, and having this fuzz thing, whatever it's called, inside them really makes you burp, and that's a good idea when you're going to do talking a lot. Yes. So, it pushes players back, so it's a kind of a push weapon. It's kind of a ranged damage-doing compression blast in a way, and it has like, well, fuck, I can just show you. Oh, how wonderful. I can actually show you how it works, because I was supposed to do that. I didn't have that ready. I did not have that prepared, but that's good. Because we're going to be here for until I'm done doing this. So in the meantime, be sure to follow me on Twitter. That is at HiGPS. YouTube HiGPS TF2. I have a Steam group, also called HiGPS, where all kinds of announcements and stuff gets posted. So let's see. Ah, yes, here we are, Demo Man, with this thing. So let me just bring in the bots, and let's see. Do this command, I think. Yep, there we go. So, you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner, you have like this thing similar to the sticky launcher, where you charge and you shoot. Only this time, you can actually blow yourself up with it, like if you do this. So you shoot, and it rolls, and you push people, and they fly, and you have something called double donk, and that is when you push them and explode them at the same time. I really haven't gotten the hang of it, because I'm not uber pro demo man. I'm actually an awful demo man. But it's like that. And it does extra damage. It says like double donk, so like that. It does not go through multiple targets when you push them. So let's say if I were to shoot here. Well, it pushes both of them. Okay. Does it do with this thing? No, it bounces off. Sometimes it bounces off, sometimes it doesn't. And when they die, it goes straight through them. So that's how this weapon works. If you use this weapon like you would have used the regular grenade launcher, you're gonna have a bad time because it's not as powerful as the grenade launcher. And if you use it the same way, so here we're gonna have the Ghost Demo Man. It is none other than our introductioner dude. It is going to be a very fancy looking man. It's going to be a Popcorp from VHS Dash, I think. So he's going to be playing Demo Man, which we're going to do. Getting the double dunk on the first try, making it bounce off the medic and then explode. It's a bit of a timing mechanism. If you ever played Team Fortress Classic and, used grenades there, this kind of is the same mechanic, only that you can't shoot it while you're using other weapons. So this weapon is very, very mid-range, and it's more of a support weapon than anything else. Because, instead of killing your target, you push them away. And you gotta, put yourself in positions where pushing your opponents are better than actually killing them. And, that takes a bit of game feel to do, because sometimes it is in your team's best interest to not necessarily kill the enemy, but to just get them out of position here. And we see some nice kills here coming out of this thing. He is currently using the charge and targe, which allows you to be more demo nighty, so you can soak up more damage, and kind of makes your primary weapon a bit more viable. Like, you have to use it a lot more. And the funny thing about Demo Man is that his secondary weapon is more likely his primary, and his primary is more of a secondary weapon kind of way, because the sticky launcher is, as we all know, the most powerful weapon in the game, and it's by far the most useful. It has many uses. You can sticky jump, you can make traps, you can do all kinds of things. It has a high damage output, and the reload time isn't that long, and it's just overall really, really good. So giving that up for a shield might work, but you have to be really good and kind of know what you're doing if you want to have like maximum effect out of it. So since it's a push weapon, you can push people off edges. Like here, if he would have hit this sniper, he would have fallen into the pit, because or like the what do you call it, the great fall, because you can fall off the map on upwards. There's going to be a lot of upward today, because that's kind of the map where it's pretty good. And you got to keep that in mind. Keep the main push thing in mind whenever you play with this, and that's usually what we're going to look at today. We're going to look and see what works and what doesn't work. And keep in mind, if the cannonball hits the ground or a surface of any kind, it does 50% less damage. And fun fact, the cannonball against sentries does the same amount of damage as pipe does. So let's say you're standing close to a wrangled sentry, like the sentry gun is being wrangled, you like hug it with the Demo Man. It takes 7 pipe bombs from grenade launchers, and it takes 7 cannonballs to kill it at close range when it's wrangled, because it has like effective 700 health or something. It's pretty crazy. So let's say you're in a situation where there is an engineer who's repairing the sentry, and he has overheal, and is generally pretty hard to kill. Pushing the engineer in such a circumstance would actually be more beneficial, because it pushes the engineer away from the sentry, means he can't repair it, means the sentry gun and the engineer is more open to, you know, being killed and stuff, and it allows your team to do that. So what I mean by support weapon is that you kind of have to incorporate it in with your team play, with the rest of your team, in order to get maximum effect. So we're going to see Pop Corp here try to kind of harass this Demo Knight here. Eventually gives up, and then he just hits him in the face with a sign. He got signed. And, yeah. So, the loose cannon is craftable, primary weapon. And then Popcorp dies, yes. So, that was kind of the introduction. We saw a double donk, we saw pushing people, we saw this very, very generic kind of thing, but I feel like if you want most out of your Demo Man play, you either have to use the charge and charge very actively. We saw Popcorp here being a bit passive. He didn't use the charge all that much. I think he used it like twice or something. But if you're going to be a Demo Knight, you kind of have to use it all the time and position yourself after that, which can be pretty tough to do. So we're just going to look at some more generic play, some very standard stuff, which is kind of like the feel most of you might have if you try to use this weapon, because you know, getting into using new weapons can be kind of hard to do, because like on what basis do you use it? Like, how do you know? And by the way, this is Goizan. He's going to be having a couple of replays here, and then you're going to be watching me doing this. And at first, I hated this weapon, but later I came to like it once I started to see how to do this. So Goizan is kind of using it like the grenade launcher, and we're going to see how that, you know, affects the play. Because keep in mind, if they bounce, they do very little damage. They do like 20 or 30 or something, depending on how close the explosion hits, as opposed to, you know, 104 if you can get like a good hit there. So Goizan going down. He's actually going for a Demo Knight with the loose cannon. Takes out a sniper who decides to just stand in the corner and not do anything ever, as you do, you know. I play games to go walk my dog. An AFK, BRB, walk dog, control units. So, of course, snipers with the Darwin Danger Shield also pretty weak against this. I am not sure what type of damage the cannonball itself does when it hits you. If it's like a melee hit or something. And we see here Goizan chopping down a sentry with his sword. And we're going to take a look at the enemy's position here once we have see Goizan here, because this is still a bug within the replay system that I can't... Hopefully it hasn't bugged out on me. Let's see if I can get visual, because due to some optimization things... Okay, yes, there we go. Here it goes on. He has, yeah, fairly decent loadout, I have to say. So, there's a bunch of guys here, and using the lock and load, the loose cannon, loose cannon on these guys will just send them flying backwards, which in this case is not what you want, because if you send them back, they can like reposition and take more defensive, you know, positions and stuff like that. So goes on, comes around here, shoots a couple of bombs, doesn't really hit anything. He is currently in the front, so nearly all by himself. And he's going to retreat, help push the cart, get healing, and get ammo. This thing has the same amount of ammo as the regular lock and load. And you can see, like, Gozan haven't really, you know, gotten the hang of this yet, and that is pretty much, like, the general feeling most people have when they play with this thing. And, yeah. There's a scout with a candy cane who seems to be living way too long. He actually kills the medic. Gozan, you let your medic die, but you did get the melee kill, so I guess that evens out. Scout versus Highlander kill is pretty good. And then he dies. So that was some generic play. We saw him use the loose cannon like it would a grenade launcher. Didn't really work out that well, surprisingly enough. So we're going to continue with the mediocrity and just see what he does here. He sees a spy, calls it out for his team. That's very important. Keep in mind, overall, listen for spy accusations. That is generally something you should be looking for here. And keep in mind, pyros can reflect these things and give you a reflect double donk, and you die when that happens. So, out of anything, support utility weapon. It's when you want your opponents to be out of the way, not necessarily killing them. And we will take a look a bit later on like how to maximize this, because it's not every circumstance you can do this. I mean, if you want to run the loose cannon 24/7, it's going to take some major adjustment to your current playstyle. If you've been playing Demo Man for a while with the regular loadout or the grenade launcher, it's going to be very jarring to play with this because it's just so different, and like your focus and what you need to do is very different. And like generally, when it comes to unlocks within the Team Fortress 2 community, if let's say there is a new grenade launcher for the Demo Man, and people don't know how to use it because they use it the exact same way as they use the grenade launcher, they just go, oh, this weapon fucking sucks, it's useless, because I cannot use it the way I'm used to using it. And then nobody ever uses it, and then like Valve doesn't know what to patch. So I think you can brute force this. I think you can be pretty good with this weapon. It has a lot of potential and has a potentially very high skill ceiling due to the fact that you're actually pushing your opponents, and you can do the double donk, and it's kind of like the grenade meta game from Team Fortress Classic all over again with the positioning. So personally, I think it works best if you use a sticky launcher. Like, I've had the best results when I used the standard sticky launcher. And now we're going to go over and look at my replays for a bit. And yeah, so we're gonna be here on Gold Rush because I'm on the red team and I'm a Demo Man, so this is very good for me. Very reminiscent of, like, Gold Rush is like Dust Bowl with, you know, a cart. So here's the thing: I'm in the front all by myself. It's just me here, and holy fucking crap, there's a fucking bunch of blue guys. I have this sniper friend here, and he's like, there's so many! Look at him! And then we look at him, and there's like a bomb in front of his face, and things are not looking good. How long do you think this guy's gonna live? Not very long, that's the question. Okay, so we have like this giant, this is known as a death ball, alright? Like, we have a heavy, and there's a soldiers, there's so much stuff here. And there's us, right? And we're like, okay, so, with the loose cannon, we can, theoretically, push all of these guys away from the cart. Buy our team some more time. You know? Which is good. Because, you know, if you look at the map here, in case you aren't aware, like, this point opens this door, which allows them to push up here and stand on the high ground and just shit all over our defense, which is kind of in its infant stages. We have like a level 3 there. So, let's do it. Alright. Alright. Does not work out that well against the fucking death ball. But we had the plans, alright, we had the plans. Things were like the stars were aligned, the train was coming, but then like somebody blew up the train station. So let's go on a map that isn't particularly loose cannon friendly, and that is Harvest. There's a lot of maps where, like, alright, I can push my opponents, but pushing them won't necessarily do anything, and sometimes this happens. And that is what we call fucking up. So, in case you are unaware, if you hold the loose cannon for too long, you blow yourself up, pretty much. And this is exactly what happened here. I think this is one of the earlier replays where I've just gotten into using the using the loose cannon. Here I am, Mr. Blondie boy, and I go like, yeah, and I'm gonna charge it. And I'm gonna take that. Sure showed him. So that is something that is also going to be, you know, a bit hard to get used to, especially if you're used to using the sticky launcher. The sticky launcher uses like a long time, and with the current, the reason I'm doing this again is because it got changed in the latest patch. It made the fuse a lot shorter, which means like the range is actually a lot shorter as well, and stuff like that. So now we're on Upward. Yeah, we're going to be using the sticky bomb launcher to jump away, and we have a medic where our team is actually looking not so bad, minus the 3 snipers. But that's okay, we're here to do the heavy lifting. Right here, using the sticky bombs at first. One thing I found really rewarding is if you lay out a bunch of stickies and then you shoot people with the cannonball onto the stickies, and then you just kill them with the stickies. So it can kind of work that way. Another thing you can do if you're on defense is perhaps try and like flank behind the enemy and try to, when you get behind them, shoot them into sentry fire, you know, potentially after compression blast. Like, think like a pyro. So if you're used to playing a pyro a lot, maybe the loose cannon is like something more for you, because it's kind of like a ranged compression blast that does damage and stuff like that. So let's take a look at how it fares on 5 control point, 5 CP. This is Badlands, one of the best maps, if not the best map in the entire game in terms of variety and stuff like that. So we're going to be playing Demoman here. We have 6 players on our team, and the other team has 8 because we are so talented. The other team's like, well, we got to stack against that. So we're actually pretty early on the point here, and the replay is bugging out, so it's not lagging as much as you can see, but that's okay. Doing some bombs here, and oh, there's a scout on the backside, and we shoot him in the air, falling back. And yeah, doing alright. There's a scout behind us. We're in a spot where we can actually launch people in the air and let our heavy kill them while in the air, so that is something to consider as well. And then we shoot the heavy, he falls and flies up. Doesn't really do all that much, and in this kind of situation, like we do get to kill the pyro with a little help from our heavy. It's pretty hard to use. With crits, the loose cannon is okay, I guess, but a crit pan on the spy is always better. And I'm not that good with this thing. Keep in mind, like, if you use the crits and you, like me, I'm like totally fuck up like the entire thing. Like, you have to resort to the pan, pretty much, is what you have to do. So we knock the scout away, and there's a pyro behind us. And he reflects, and we hit him, and he flies away. And there's a sniper, gotta be careful! Gotta dodge. And then we get some heals from our medic, alright. Alright, so let's get that sniper. Let's get that sniper! Where did he... Oh, there's a scout. Fuck, fall like a... Fly like an eagle, drop like a rock. That's how I do it, and then get absolutely mauled by a scout. So, using it on 5 CP, not as effective because you will push them away and they will live and then they will kill you. So I think the best example of how to use it is on Upward. So I'd say, like, if you want to really master this weapon, play Upward like a lot, play it a ton, and then when you mastered it, you can, when gotten really used to it, you can kind of transition with the knowledge and the experience you've gained from Upward to other maps and stuff like that when you're used to pushing people around. So if I were to just give you like a hint of when you should use this, instead of like all the time if you want to like use it and be effective, it's when the enemy team clusters around the cart or on points, and you just want them off the point. You just want to buy time and support your team and not necessarily do all that much damage. You will kind of just put them out of position instead of just killing them, which can sometimes be really good and sometimes be absolutely dog shit, which is kind of the whole idea with this thing. And for anybody wondering about the double donks, replay system doesn't actually show double donks. And we had a few of those. Like there was, I'm not sure if that was a double donk, but we certainly kill that pyro and stuff like that. So it's also a whole different range compared to the pipe launcher, the regular grenade launcher. So that is something to consider as well. Getting used to that and the timing of the bombs and like the range, because it loses a lot of range really fast. So right here it would be a good idea to push them off the carts, but we're kind of low on health and we're kind of low on ammo, which was my result a lot of times. Whenever I play demo, I just waste all my ammo on nothing. And here is something you shouldn't do. Okay, so there's a heavy. He's running with the gloves running urgently. The sentry is down. Here's how not to use the loose cannon. You shoot him and you launch him up into your team. Thankfully, he is using the gloves running urgently and doesn't really do all that much damage, but the medic was literally right behind them. And if he switched to the minigun in time, he would have absolutely destroyed all my teammates and would have totally been my fault. But that didn't happen, but we lost all our shit anyway. So keep in mind, like, this can really give your team the edge, but it can also really fuck up your defense if you don't do it properly, and enemy team's just pushing all over. We try to deal with this. I do get the pyro with the crits from the quick fix. The crits Krieg against the quick fix, yes. And then taking high ground advantage. So, like, spending the downtime effectively as a demo man while reloading is very important. Especially with this thing, the loose cannon. Like, I have a demo man here, like, I hardly ever hit them, and I'm going to use the stickies as well, and yeah. At this point in time, with this current positioning, I'm doing a lot better with the sticky launcher. But we have a medic here. He has the crits Krieg, and we're doing pretty good. And oh! Oh, yeah. Let's see, which one was it? Ah, fuck it, we'll just do this one. Yeah! Get off the cart! Boosh! Get off the cart! Boom! Oh yeah, you want off the cart? Boom! Yeah! He actually survived though, but victory! That's how you use it. That's an ideal situation. Except that you actually have to knock them off and not die straight afterwards. But that's a very good example of its strength. You push people off the cart and you buy your team some more time. So, yes. Pretty good. So you gotta keep in mind that, well, we didn't see this one, did we? I don't think so. Nope. Kind of forgot which number I was on, but that's okay. So we're still here on upward. You can see the range. You can, like, the longer you charge, the closer the explosion will hit to you. So yeah, knock him off, and he falls to his death. That is, like, if you're on maps like upward and maps where you can fall to your death, this weapon is really good. But if you're not, it's not as good. So it's more of a map-specific gun, and sometimes you just get owned. So we're going to look at a bit of a longer defense here, where we have a crits Krieg, and we're just defending this upper area here. Because demo, like, if you ever played on a server that has stackers on them, if you ever played on UKCS, like, crits demo man on defense is really an undiscovered gem of a strategy. You know, that's like, we're really breaking new ground here. Crits demo, yeah, nobody thought of that before. It's not like the most powerful deathmatching tool in the entire game. So, very hard to stop, and snipers are gonna die. We're gonna hit ourselves. I'm grabbing more health eventually while reloading. And there was actually a spy there, and I didn't see where he went because he was actually invisible, and that's something to keep in mind. If you see ammo suddenly disappear, there's a motherfucking spy there. So right here is a pretty good spot for this weapon, because we want them to not cap this. So, and they're pretty close to the edge. If you shoot the loose cannon up here, they will most likely bounce off and fall to their deaths. Or you will just knock them back down to the low ground. And when you knock them back, you can kind of use the sticky launcher to do more damage and stuff like that. And that's what we're going to be doing this round here, and he works pretty well. There's a spy there, and going to be trying to take him out eventually. But yeah, didn't lose any buildings, I think. Maybe the teleporter. No, man, we lost the building anyway. Teleporter is still online as trying to hit this heavy. Barely misses. We have crits Krieg here. Not so clearly visible on the loose cannon, but look at this. Very good positioning. Crit stickies are the best. One sticky close to a mini-sentry is enough to take it out, so that's how you counter those incredibly broken Imba mini-sentries, is a sticky bomb, or a pipe, or 2 rockets or something. Not that hard to kill, especially since they can't move, and you can. Doing more damage, and then falling back, reloading. And that's kind of like what we're going to be doing this entire defense, is reload, shoot a bunch of bombs all over the place, and then fall back to the dispenser where we reload to replenish health and ammo, while we have our medic building the crit screen here and trying to keep the attacking team at bay here. Because, you know, if I stand in this spot right here, I'm currently just this floating thing, like if a spy stabs me, he will get killed by the sentry gun pretty quickly, and I'm pretty safe for anything, and kind of use this sentry as a spotter, because whenever the sentry like goes, I know there's either something there, yeah, or, yeah. Like anything else that the sentry doesn't cover, I will see, so use that to your advantage, because teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yes, that's what I said. So another crit's popped here, not a lot to pop it on. And, yeah, eventually killing nothing. I think we get the medic eventually. And retreat, taking the back door back to base. Taking out Devil Man and reloading. This is pretty standard stuff right now. Like, we aren't achieving too much different results. And then using this, he knocked the sniper all the way back out of position, so he has to reposition himself. Took a bit of damage, and I think also the fact that you can reposition your opponents very easily with this weapon kind of like puts them off their game and their timings, and kind of puts them a bit off, and you can use that to your advantage. Keep in mind, if you do pull the bomb so it like blows up in your face, it takes away over half your health, so it's not really ideal. It's great for building Uber because it takes off a lot of health without too much effort. But other than that, you gotta be careful. Another heavy, shoot some more bombs, knock him back. And then we get the Kritzkrieg, and just kill all the things with the Kritzkrieg. Then look at the cart as it goes back. Venus Sentry and Engineer, try and get the Engineer first. Falling back, and then reloading, shooting some more bombs. And then eventually retreating to the dispenser once again, and posting a spray that is incredibly funny and original, and not stolen from anywhere because I made it myself. And we're back here once again, just shooting more bombs, reloading and retreating. Rinse and repeat pretty much, and the attacking team is having a bit trouble how to deal with this. And the best way to deal with this is just, at any point in time, just have a spy that waits for me to go and attack and just stab me, because I haven't checked my back once, because I haven't been stabbed once. That's kind of like what you do. And then you're back to the dispenser once again, reloading, doing the same thing, and it actually works. Like the blue team's team composition actually isn't that bad. They have some snipers that really should, you know, position them properly, because, you know, in the situation, I'm pretty much shut with the loose cannon. I'm pretty much pushing everything that's in this area back down here. And if you wanted to counter that, you should probably like go sniper and kind of just hang out here and just wait until you see me and maybe like go over here, because you would be able to snipe and stuff like that. So that's just positional, you know, thinking, stuff like that. Also going Demo Man maybe up here and shoot a bunch of pipes, get some other people with you to help with the spam to get us to retreat, to get some ground. It's also pretty good, but the blue team is using the strategy of just attacking us one at a time and getting absolutely brutally murdered every time. So now we do something what is called an overextension, and that is when we just run into the enemy base and fucking die, but not until we take down the teleporter. And gets taken out by a lock and load Demo Man, but hey, we survived over 4 minutes and we killed 21 people in one life, which is pretty good. Pretty good. One thing the loose cannon is absolutely ass against is scouts. Scouts in general are pretty good against Demo Man if the scout is on your same level, because they will just dodge and run away, so keep in mind. Scouts are good while airborne, right? Because they have the double jump, they can surf, they're really fast, they're really small and nimble. And when you shoot them and you hit them, you help them doing so. So, yeah, I gotta be careful about that. Scouts can really mess you up, and on this match there was a pretty good scout on the other team. And I don't think it's that guy. Well, they're really fast, hard to catch up, especially with me being as bad with the stickies as I am. And once again, running into the trouble of having low health, but don't fear, crit pan is your friend and will save you. And like you see, I shot the scout in the air, and he just jumped once and killed me, because scouts are good at that, so you gotta be careful. So not very good against scouts at all, you gotta be careful. And now we will move on. So hopefully you're starting to get a grasp of what it's good and what it isn't. Kind of a support weapon. Do not treat it the same way like the grenade launcher, because you're gonna have a bad time doing so. So it's good against clusters. I really think they should buff it a little bit. There we have a double donk on the medic. It doesn't really show because it's a replay. Would have been great if it did. Double donk can do anything from 20 to 144 damage, and once again the scout just kills us because scouts are good when we reload. So one thing I've seen some players do is they use the Scottish Resistance, and I think the Scottish Resistance is a weapon that needs a patch or a buff, because it's not... I wish they would add some more accuracy to it, because as of right now the Scottish Resistance... this goes on, by the way, taking off over half his health in a single jump, so he has like 30 health when he grabs his health kit. And his spawn is right there. The Scottish Resistance really should be more accurate, because you should be able to detonate about the same size of your crosshair, and now it's like kind of a lot of chunks. And if you stand on top of somebody, they will detonate as well, so I feel like if they increase the accuracy of the sticky bomb detonations, it would be pretty good. And stuff like that. I also think the game would benefit if you had like more, like another sticky launcher that were good, because we're starting to see Valve finally understanding how to properly balance some of these items. Like in the patch, that were a lot of the items were suddenly a lot more viable. Like the quick fix, for example, is actually really good now. It may be just as good as the Medigun if used correctly, as well as the crit streak. So we have Gozes on here, not really doing all that well. He's kind of out of position. His enemy team is kind of doesn't have a strategy or like a pattern they use. They just kind of run over all willy-nilly. So I guess what Gozan is trying to do is launch players into his traps, and that is actually a lot better and a lot easier with the Scottish Resistance. But if you can't do that, it's just going to be very hard to do, and it's going to be a lot of stickies that you never use for anything. And we have a detonation. Not sure if you got any kills or anything, because replays don't really show kill feed or any information whatsoever in that regard. So doing the infamous falling back with Uber, just shooting a heavy all around. In this case, it would have been better to use the regular grenade launcher, and because you would have actually killed him a lot faster instead of just pushing him around, because close grenade does like around 100 to 104 damage, while that's just a simple push without the double donk does like 60 something. So we see that the blue team is using the strategy of attacking one at a time, not really paying attention to anything, having the attention span of an unfocused goldfish. Because if they turn around from you, they don't see you, and then suddenly you don't exist anymore, because that's how they think. So, yeah, just kind of a defense. It's kind of working. In a way, they have other Devilman and other stuff. Goes on, like, putting a lot of stickies on the field, and then just has to wait for people to walk on them. And the pirate just air blasts them away. It doesn't really work that well. So, like, you can do really well with the Scottish Resistance. It's just really hard to get them where you want to be, because you can have more, you know, stickies out than the regular sticky launcher, but you can't detonate them all at once. And it kind of requires a lot of, I guess you can say, micro, similar to that of the Vaccinator, where you just have to do something that you normally don't do. Like, Devilman is not an accuracy class. It's just point in the general direction, and you will most likely hit. So here we're going to have Gozes on, pushing on to the last point here. And this could be pretty good, because if the enemy team is holding up here, pushing them down on the low ground is actually really good, because taking this high ground area, as well as this high ground area, when you go into the last push, if your team can occupy those two areas, you're in really good shape, if you can do so. So goes on here with a soldier is going to occupy this area and just wait for his team to attack. Let's see, how far away is the cart? The cart's actually down here, but it's not being pushed by anyone, so that's kind of unfortunate, but they're holding the high ground nonetheless. And just doing some damage here and there, and going to be pushing the engineer down. Oh no, a mini-sentry! Gets taken out immediately. So hang out at the dispenser. And just kind of hanging out. Have a medic. Shooting some more bombs. This is an explosive Scottish standoff where Gozan is preventing the demo man from going down with this, and he's also taking damage at the same time. So he's just shooting up and kind of making him, get denied, stuff like that. Just shoots, and some more rockets, and then he shoots. Gozan can count to 4. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 rockets. You're out. You have to reload. And eventually Gozan will have enough of this because he shoots the demo and the demo just takes more damage. He had probably some heal up there. We will never know. And then he's like, alright, screw that. Okay, shoot some more. Doing the... Okay, and I shoot some more. If he'd used the regular grenade launcher, he would probably get some results by now, but... Oh no, it's a crits demo! How will we ever? Except we just did. Demoman detonates all the crit stickies, and eventually Gozan has had enough, and he takes him out with the sword. He's going to be feeling pretty good about himself. So also with the charge and charge, you can make it work, but it's a lot harder because you push them away from you and you kind of want them closer so you can hit them with the sword. And eventually they run in and they cap and they win. Yay! Let's celebrate our victory by blowing ourselves up. That is the Scottish way. So let's look at another double donk. On upward, of all things. More stickies being planted. Scottish resistance is really good on defense if used correctly, but you gotta pay attention to a lot of things. And I really hope Valve fixes it so it's a lot more accurate, so you can detonate stickies a bit more precisely. And you can see also what Gozan tried to do there is try to hit them with a direct double donk, I think, where you hit them and then it immediately explodes. But it's really hard to do. It takes a lot of practice, but I think if you just use this exclusively for a long time, along with sticky launcher, you can actually do really, really well with it. Maybe just as well with the grenade launcher, but we haven't seen anyone that has really, grasped this yet, because it's so different from the standard grenade launcher. And then, of course, Pan is a great response to spies and things in general. You can see just when you miss all the targets and it rolls, it's not, all that good. But the projectile speed is the same as the grenade launcher, so if you're good at connecting pipes, you will be good at connecting cannonballs as well. A bunch of stickies on the cart. Keep in mind you have to aim at the cart in order to use this properly. More defense. Ah yes, bouncing around, getting a double donk on the medic. That was pretty good. It's kind of hard to hit him, and then you die. And they're gonna want to go on to the last replay here. So hopefully you guys have gotten an idea of my ramblings and analysis of this weapon. There isn't really all that much to say other than don't treat it like the grenade launcher. It's a support weapon. Use it to push people around and use the push people around stuff to your advantage in what you will. And we're going to finish the day off with a replay of that, because we can have replays of reflected double donks. So there you go. There it goes on. He's like, yeah! I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna save the day. There's a spy there. Whoop. He's like, yeah, shoot.
5 minutes left in the mission. 5 minutes.
Oh. Alright. Here comes the pyro! deflected! Oh, boosh! Oh! And that's the end of that chapter. So, that was the loose cannon. In order to summarize, don't treat it like the grenade launcher. It takes a lot of skill and effort to get used to it, to the whole pushing, more of a support weapon, team-oriented, very map-specific, good against pushing people away when pushing away is better than killing them. And Double Dunk is pretty cool. So, with that, we're going to finish up this episode, but before we do, let's take a look at what we'll be doing next time on the HiGPS show. Let me just bring up my list here of the topics, because we're going to be covering all the weapons that got a major change in the update, at least some of them, maybe not all. Like, I don't think we need to do the l'étranger, because it gives you a longer cloak, so you can just stay invisible longer. So let's just see here, because... yeah, there you go. Future topics. Excellent. So let's see. We've done this. We've done the shortstop, which was awful. Cool. Yes. All right. So here's what I want to see. It's going to be an engineer episode. It's going to be the short circuit. Ah, yes. We covered the short circuit before when it wasn't as good. It was kind of bad. But now the short circuit can really fuck up demo men and soldiers and generally make competitive players really mad. Which is why we're going to use it all the time. Hey! So yeah, submit replays to that of your plays using the short circuit, even with any loadout. Short circuit is really good, so if the enemy team is going like mass demo man or mass soldier or something like that, it is really good because when you shoot the projectile disappear. So you can take out a massive sticky trap with a single shot. So yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing. Send replays to me. That, if you are unsure of how to submit replays, there will be a link at the end of this video showing you how to submit replays and all that good jazz and stuff. So that's going to be the topic for next time. If you want me to do more competitive stuff, because I'm considering doing that again, just considering the format and all that stuff, if you're going to do like some more competitive shows that we did before, like Try Hard Thursday and all that stuff, if that's still interesting, you can let me know in the Steam group. So be sure to join the Steam group. It has all kinds of announcements and discussions from others. Not that much, but some. Twitter is good. HiGPS.no is definitely the best way of checking my scheduling, because it has like this little... I can actually show you the site real quick, because this is a site I haven't really used all that much, or maybe you haven't. So let's see here if I can just bring up the window capture here. There you go. Here is the page. And in the Steam group here, whenever I do a scheduling of an episode, this will show up here, and it will show you the date and time, and here it says all the topics. I don't think you can click this yet, but it also says a green button when I'm live, and you can click that and it brings me to the stream page, and it has all the videos chronologically. It's not YouTube, so if you're on a place where YouTube is blocked, but Blip is not, this is definitely a way you can check that. It's just a simple listing of the latest videos and all that stuff, so... you can use that. This site will also have the link for the HUD when I complete the HUD, which I will do either today or tomorrow, and I will release my high HUD, the slightly modified standard HUD. So if you like standard HUD but you want to be able to see health bars on your teammates and enemies, if you're a spy, you can do that. So thank you guys for watching. Next topic is going to be the short circuit, and be sure to submit those, and I will see you then. Bye.